So welcome to the Carroll Foundation blog post number 2. Last time you heard from us, we were speaking to Julie from Skydiving Puria Brava, and he was telling us about their carbon offset program. We are very fortunate to have with us today Jasper Van der Meer from Torah Torah, and he's going to talk to us about the difference between making a symbolic gesture or something that actually has a bit more of an impact. Take it away, Jasper.
Thank you, Pete, for the introduction. Yeah, so skydiving right now comes with a large carbon footprint, and your question basically is what can we do to change that or to make an impact in changing that? And apart from the obvious, taking a break with skydiving until we have electric planes or synthetic kerosene comes around, or switching to base jumping or another sport. If we do want to continue skydiving, and apart from offsetting, which you covered, I believe, in your previous interview, there's many other things that you can do, and many of these actions that I've seen, and also some of the things that we've done ourselves with Torah Torah, they seem to be more symbolic than impactful, and that can be great. Symbolic actions can be great, especially for raising awareness, but they might not have a significant impact on our CO2 emission. So if we want to know what's significant, we should look at the number. So if you take a one jump, the carbon emission of one jump sits around 14 kilograms. That's one jump per person. And it depends on the plane. This is for the most common skydive planes. We have a Twin Otter, a Skyvan, a Dornier, a Porter, etc. If you then look at a Supervan, you go down to about 9 kilograms per jump. And on the other side of the spectrum, if you look at an Mi-8 helicopter, you sit at 27 kilograms, which is triple the amount of the Supervan. So there's a big difference there. So the first thing you can do is you can choose a drop zone or an airplane. And there you can already have an influence on how much carbon you actually burn on each jump. And then the biggest number I've come across is if you look at your travel. So this doesn't apply if you go to your local drop zone around the corner, but if you travel for skydiving, you go to an event, to a boogie or to a skills camp or competition, and you fly there. A return flight within Europe is around 1,000 kilograms of carbon emission. And the exact calculation, there's a lot of variables, and we can put the notes maybe in your blog if people want to know more about how you calculate that and what the differences are. But let's make it simple and say that it's 1,000 kilograms. That's around 60 to 100 jumps. And that's more jumps than most people will do at that event, which means the travel there and back has a higher impact on your footprint and your carbon footprint than the skydives that you do there. I think that's a good thing to realize. And then if you go transatlantic, if you fly to the US from Europe, you go to like 4,500 kilograms, which is around 400 jumps. So that's more than most people jump in a year. So if you want to do something, your travel behavior is a really good place to start.
And Jasper, I'm intrigued. Is there anything that you guys have done with your events in order to help that?
Yes. So with Torah Torah, we've done a few things. We've started offsetting all our jumps and also the travel for the staff and the coaches. But I think that offsetting, it's doubtful to call that neutralizing. I think that's a different discussion maybe for a different interview. But what we've done to bring the numbers down is one of the reasons why we stopped organizing the helicamp. There were more reasons, but one of them was the fact that we were running an Mi-8 helicopter there. And that's a great, great aircraft to jump from. And I wish everybody could try it. But for us, it started to feel uncomfortable that it has such a big carbon emission per person per jump. Other things, so we've stopped organizing events. We used to organize events in the US and other places far away, and we kind of realized that there's other groups of people that are more than qualified to organize cool events there, and we started looking for drop zones closer to home, also in wintertime, to organize something here, and that people don't have to travel that far. And also we kind of stopped inviting coaches from that far away. And we're more than happy to have a coach who's from Australia or from the US if they do the whole season here. If they want to do like an event tour, more than happy to have them. But we don't feel comfortable having them fly all that way just for our event and then fly back again. So that's another thing we've changed. Even if they pay their own ticket, it's for the emotional side to it.
Yeah, and I really struggle on a personal level with those travel issues. How about yourself?
Yeah, so I think it's really challenging for me personally also to change my personal travel behavior, because a 2-hour flight would take you maybe a whole day if you choose to take a train or a bus or car, or even longer than a day. And then the flight is even cheaper, which I believe there are some groups in Europe that are trying to change that. But that makes it a really difficult decision every time to not fly. It's going to take you 2 extra days. And I think that'll be a struggle for everyone, and it's a big sacrifice to make. I think that if you want to start somewhere, if you can do it once, if you can choose one event where you plan to fly, but then choose to maybe carpool with a few friends or take a bus or a train, that is already a big impact on your personal carbon footprint. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, and that's also a really good place to end it. Thank you very much for that personal note. I like the idea of carpooling with a bunch of friends to a boogie and stopping at some drop zones on the way. So there's been some really good information there from Jasper. It's really nice to hear a different perspective on it. We'd like to hear from you. If you have some feedback on what you've heard and seen from this blog, or if you've got some ideas of your own, please feel free to share with us on social. And next week, we're going to be hearing from Jordi Messiger. He's the chief engineer at Windor, the local tunnel, and he's going to be talking to us about alternative energy solutions. Thank you very much.